Hello and good evening. Welcome to class, everybody. So as I have told you, sir is not there since he is not fine. He hasn't recovered from fever. So he'll be there on Thursday's class. Okay. So we can just continue. We'll have a case study because I'm not starting with the topic because he will be deciding what he has to teach. That is a subject to which I am not very familiar. So I'll be discussing some case studies with you. Alright. Okay. So we can just start with the first case study. It is about marketing communication. And this is a very simple case study. In this case study, they are telling us how a company, a leading vacuum cleaner seller in US, in UK, what happened to them is that they tried to promote their product by offering some promotional mix, by offering some additional prices and offers, but it didn't turn out really well, and ultimately they have to do away with this practice. Okay, so this is what it is about. So the focus of the case study is on marketing communication. It's about how the communication should be placed to for an effective marketing success. Alright, so it's free flights promotion ends in disaster. So the Hoover company's attempt to sell more vacuum cleaners by offering an incentive of free flights has become a legendary disaster in the field of sales promotions. Okay, yeah, and one point I just want to ask you just a question. When I speak during the class, I speak a little slow because I want my words to be very clear and to be audible to everybody. Everybody can understand. Okay, so I speak a little slow. So I don't think that is a problem. Normally this is not my pace of speaking, but in this case I speak a little slow because in some of the previous places where I was working, the students say that if you will speak a little slowly, we'll be able to hear more clearly. Okay, so that's the reason. Yeah, so this is about so let's just continue. So an examination of the case is useful for highlighting some of the problems of planning, implementing and monitoring sales promotions. Okay, so during the early 1990s, Hoover was faced with a period of economic recession in which discretionary expenditure on consumer durables was held back. So this was a company, its name is Hoover's Company, it operates in the UK. So this company was faced with an economic recession. So what they decided to, or what they resort to overcome that. So in these conditions, most vacuum sales were replacements for worn out machines or first time buys for people setting up home. The challenge was to increase the sales of machines bought to upgrade existing equipment. So this is a company which was into manufacturing of many small home durables. Okay, so like water filters, vacuum cleaners and some other things. So they thought that if they can promote the sales of their vacuum cleaners, then they can make up for the gap which has been incurred because of the sales fall down. So how that could be done? So the company came up with the idea of offering free airline tickets to America for anybody buying one of its vacuum cleaners. So for many people, a holiday in USA may have been perceived as an unnecessary and unaffordable luxury during a period of recession, but one that might be justified if it came free with the purchase of an essential vacuum cleaner. Okay, so in normal days, in normal course of life, that was something not to be given heed to, not to be paid attention to. But if it was free, then it was good. Prabha, am I not audible? Okay. So the immediate result of the sales promotion was to boost the company's sales of vacuum cleaners to more than double the level of previous year. So far, so good. But then serious problems set in. The first problem occurred when Hoover could not satisfy demand for its vacuum cleaners and had to resort to paying its staff overtime rates of pay in order to increase the supply. Okay, like they launched this scheme in the market, and then they were not able to meet the supply. The demand was more, the supply was less. So increased salaries were paid to the staff for doing the overtime so that the supply can be met. Then it should be remembered that the initial objective of the promotion was to utilize the existing spare capacity rather than adding to that capacity. Okay, the things were like not being fully utilized, the equipments which they were having. So the target was to make use of these equipments to the best possible capacity so that they can increase the profits. So the company had carried out insufficient research prior to launching its incentive. But now the problem was that they had to supply more of the product in the market, and the resources which they were having were over exhausted and the staff was overburdened. So they were getting burdens from both the sides. Firstly, they were paying to the staff, then they were purchasing for the inputs also. So that was adding to their cost. Okay, so this was all the result of poor research that has been done before launching of the scheme. So had it done so, it may have reached the conclusion that the incentive was too generous and likely to create more demand than the company could cope with. So far the things are clear, everybody? Okay. What about others? Ajit, Seher, Kelvin, Anas. Anas, good evening and welcome to class. We are discussing a case study. Okay. So, a second problem occurred. This was the first problem, like overburdening of the resources. Now the second problem occurred during subsequent periods when sales fell to below their pre-incentive levels. So many people had simply brought forward their purchase of a vacuum cleaner. Worse still, many people had bought their cleaner simply to get the free tickets, which at £70 for a cleaner with a free £250 ticket made sense. Okay. So what happened? The second thing was that in the course of time, now their sales fell down. Now the sales fell down. Like suppose these days in television, when we see advertisements, mostly for the electronics, especially for the LG company, what we see is that they are offering tickets to Australia for the World Cup matches. Have you seen that ad? No? Yeah, it is broadcasted in India. It is aired in India at times. So, but that is a very, like, it's a very short-lived scheme. Once the World Cup is over, nobody will be interested. So, we have to be very careful in planning such things. The efforts which we are undertaking should be fruitful to us and should be long-lasting. So, most of the people, they brought their vacuum cleaner only because they wanted a £250 ticket at the cost of 70 rupees vacuum cleaner. Okay, so these people frequently disposed of their cleaner as they had no need for it. So The classified ads of many local newspapers contain many adverts for new, unused vacuum cleaners at discounted prices, and this further depressed the sales of new machines once the sales promotion had come to an end. So this thing just backfired. What people were doing they were like spending 70 pounds for a cleaner, and then they were reselling it at a open price in the market. So instead of buying from the company, people started buying this at the discounted prices from them. And this was a time barred scheme. This $250 US ticket was a time barred scheme. So once this was over, people preferred to buy the second-hand vacuum cleaners from the advertisements in the newspaper. So now their sales further declined. Initially also they were not getting the market, and because of the availability of second-hand vacuum cleaners at reasonable prices, people were diverted toward that, and their sales further went down, this company. You understand the second problem? What about others? Why only 2 people are answering? Kelvin is not answering today. Ajit, you also. Anas, Seher, Rensi is answering. Okay. So now comes the third problem. A third and the more serious problem occurred when large number of buyers tried to use their free flight vouchers. So all sales promotions are based on an assumption of take-up rates, which can be as low as 5 to 10%. What they expect is take-up rates means the turnover. So anything higher and the cost of incentives actually given away can wipe out the benefits arising from the increased sales. 70 was the cost of the vacuum cleaner, and the ticket was costing 250. So company was spending much more on the ticket as compared to what it was earning. So in this case, Hoover had carried out insufficient pre-testing of the sales promotion in order to assess the likely take-up rate, and was surprised by the actual take-up which subsequently occurred. Everybody wanted the ticket to US at a reasonable price, 70 pounds, sorry. So that was the weakest point of that promotion. In an attempt to control the costs, the company became notorious for its attempts to suppress take-up of free flights. Many claimants complained that the telephone lines were constantly busy, and when they did get through, they were offered the most unattractive flights possible. Hello Rajnikant, Ranjit. Good evening, welcome to class. You have joined a little late. I'm very good. Thanks for asking. How are you? Yes. So, yeah, they resorted to this. They kept the telephone lines very busy. So that was a matter of complaint. So when did they get through? They were offered the unattractive flights. So it was reported that the claimants from the southeast of England were only offered flights departing from Scotland, and those from Scotland only offered flights from London. So done to reduce the attractiveness of the free offer. The people may spend a lot of money in commuting between the places. So that is why people will just back out. They will not avail that ticket. They will not avail that offer. That was the strategy of the company. So these activities attracted high levels of coverage in the media and left a once highly respected brand as one with a perception of mistrust. The company lost its goodwill. So 5 years after the initial debacle, the Hoover Holiday Pressure Group continued to be an awkward reminder for the company. Okay. So this was one important point. So this Free flights promotion eventually cost Hoover a reported £37 million in redemption charges without bringing about any long-term growth in sales. So with appropriate pre-testing, these costs could have been foreseen. Worse still, the company's brand image had been tarnished in a way that would take many years, if ever, to recover from. Okay, so this was the case study on Hoover's sales promotion policy. Did you get it, everybody? Any questions? Anyone wants to ask anything? Yes, that is there. One bad decision, so much of mess is there. This is what happened to this company. And now there are certain questions. So the first question is, what are the inherent problems for a company such as Hoover in assessing the effectiveness of sales promotion activity? What was the real drawback in this? Why were they not able to assess the effectiveness of this sales promotion activity? What was the real problem with that company? Anyone has any answer? You can take up the answer to any three of the questions. Means it's not you have to answer only one at a time. You can answer 2 or 3 also. Identify a program of research that Hoover could have undertaken in order to avoid the costly failure of its free flight promotions. And what alternative methods of promotion might have been very suitable to achieve Hoover's objective of utilizing spare capacity. This is an easy one. You can answer this one. What alternative methods of promotion could have been used by this Hoover company? The objective was to utilize the spare capacity during a period of economic recession. What else could they have thought of to promote their product as a means of sales promotion? Just think and write, everybody, please. It can give 5 to 10% discount on the product or give a small gift along with that. Okay, that's that could be one of the ways. What else they could do? They could use that spare capacity to manufacture a similar kind of a product, maybe a little handy one, like vacuum cleaner is too big in size. They could make a small duster or something like that, and they could offer it as a free product along with that vacuum cleaner. Then it might have been a like favorable decision, isn't it? Okay, Sony, I'm waiting for your answer. I think you are writing something. Now Renchi is also writing. Once you are done with this, then I'll be going to the next. They were only looking at immediate benefits and their strategy lacked far-sightedness. Yes, Sony, exactly. They were like, there was no comparison between the technique which they used. Like they were offering a ticket that was for £250 and they were getting only 70 pounds. So there was a lot of difference, already 180 pound difference. So that was, as it is, a loss on the sale of one vacuum cleaner. That was there. So this was really disastrous for them. Yes, the rewards should be realistic and compelling. Very true. You know, in India also what they do, initially there were some schemes, like there was a scooter brand by the name of Vespa, LML Vespa. So what they were doing was, they were saying that like in the packet of washing powder or in the packet of flour, flour means atta, that atta which is used for making chapati. If you find the words Punjab or something like that, you are going to get some big prize, a refrigerator or something. And what happened was, like for Punjab, PUN was found in Uttar Pradesh, JAB was found in Assam. So that was really not possible to find in one pack. So this all was really bullshit method. Can you see anything on the screen? Or is it blank? The next screen, you can see. Okay, I am not able to see. I thought that is just a problem before the starting of the class. Just a second, I'll upload this again. Give me 1 minute. In the meantime, you can answer the questions to that one. Okay, you can just have a look at them, and in the meantime, I'll upload another PPT. Sorry, another case study. This was which one? This was 11 number. Okay, now it's done. Okay, this is a case study on development of a product. Okay, it is a company, its name is Tenzetter, and it has been provider of some engineering products. Okay, basically they offer a spring which is used in the manufacture of car seat belts. So let's see what it is about. So the name is Tenzetter the Innovator. So Tenzetter is a small company which until a few years ago, I hope it's visible to everybody. Okay, it was not known for its innovation. The company sales and marketing director Terry Green stated that I am a very firm believer that innovation doesn't need to be revolutionary. There's nothing my company has done that couldn't be done by anyone else. So Tenzetter is a light engineering business which manufactured the constant force spring, a device used in the manufacture of car seat belts throughout Europe. So although the company continues to produce this product for the market, it is now far more successful in the production of more recently introduced new product lines. Okay, we can say it has diversified its operations. It is manufacturing like products, similar products. So when Breen joined the company in 1989, he realized that there was much more potential for the company. So in 1978, it had put forward plans for the use of constant force spring in the production of queuing barriers for supermarkets and banks, etc. We don't have much with it. We hadn't done much with it, recalled Green. So even though there was a feeling it could be developed further. So he persuaded the company to focus on this new product idea. He was seeing that the resources have not been utilized properly. There was still scope for more production and more sales and profit. So research was undertaken where customers, current and potential, were asked to give opinions on the viability of such a product and what they were planning to manufacture. They were planning to manufacture the queuing barriers for supermarkets and banks. You understand? The barricators which are used, the lines, it's like this. It's a rod type of a thing. You find it in some big places. Rod type of a thing, and it has got a what to say, elastic attached to it, and it is spread. It can be moved from one place to another. Did you get it? What I am telling? The separator that is used to separate the lines in airport, hospitals, malls, everywhere. That is that thing they were planning to manufacture. So people were asked to give their opinions and how it could improve on the products that were currently available. So this market research proved to be invaluable. It was hardly rocket science, but it made us realize that what matters is what the customer wants to buy, noted Green. Okay, so he was a very good believer of his faith. So as a result of the company's research and development, tensor barrier was launched. So this was launched. In 1996, the product was being exported to 36 countries. So it was somewhere around 1978 that they started the manufacturing, and somewhere around 1989 they conceived this idea, and by 1996, means within a span of 7-8 years, the products being exported to 36 countries. So this was a dramatic improvement on the sales generated by the original product, which was developed in 1978 and which had now become just a small part of the company's turnover. Okay, so now this was the main item of sale. So there are now a variety of tensor barriers in a variety of shapes and forms. There is a bolt down barrier and a special checkout version which incorporates an electronic movement sensor to prevent theft. These and other innovations were developed very proactively. So it's so easy once you realize that the key is to talk to your customers about how you can find solutions to their problems. So they did a good research work. They had the right approach, which gave them the good results. So Tensorter launched 13 new products in the year 1995 and 96. So total turnover had risen more than threefold since 1988 to 10 million pounds, with employee numbers only rising over the same period from 120 to 200. So the number of employees hasn't increased considerably. Just 80 new employees has been added in the company, but the turnover has increased by lots. So Green makes the point, innovation is about the successful implementation of new ideas. It's as simple as that. It's not necessarily about coming up with new inventions. It boils down to pretty basic stuff. It's about tweaking the way you do things rather than jettisoning one big idea for another. Okay. That was a short and simple case study. Yeah. Now there are some questions. First is, why do you think the new application of the constant force spring is more successful than its predecessor? Why do you think it is so? they have done the backward integration of their product line. Okay, yes, Sony. They were trying to enhance what they already had in their hand. They were working on that line. So that was something good that paid to them. Okay. Anyone else? Kelvin? Renzi Seher? Ajit? Ranjit? Anas? Prabha is saying because new product of Q barricades and other 13 new products. Yes, means once this queuing barricade was a success, they went on for further innovation, and with further research, they diversified their production into 30 new things. That was the thing. That was their key, the product market research, proper market research. And what do you think? Who would have been the target customers for their product? Would they have gone to individual consumers for this research? Yes, Prabha. Who would have been their target audience? They would have gone to like big shops or some places like this, big hospitals, airport, railway stations, big or some malls, some places like these where such products are used. So you have to be very careful in the choice of your target audience. Yes, banks, Sony, of course, where you are going to get your correct answer. That is important. Now, this is another case study, the last one. It is about channel intermediaries. Online music gives rise to distribution headaches. Okay, it's about choosing the right channel for the product distribution. So, who would be the marketing manager for a music label? You might be able to rub shoulders with the stars, but ultimately once the partying is over, it's time to get down to business. And a business is exactly what the music industry is, a very aggressive business. So in 2001, the UK market for pre-recorded music was approximately this billion at retailer selling price. Since 1997, retail sales value had increased by 21%, although the rate of increase had begun to slow down. So this was largely due to the decline in the singles market and increased competitiveness in the market, which has led to the introduction of discounts and special offers. However, by 2002, the music industry appeared to be in crisis as new forms of distribution challenged the traditional retail outlets. Now let's get to the main content. By 2000, CDs had become the dominant form of distributing music. Vinyl records had all but disappeared and the market share of cassettes had been slipping. Yes, even in India, like after 2000, 2001, the sales of cassettes has started declining and now only CDs were there in the market. And even if I talk about present time, you will not find a tape recorder repairer in the market now. They are also extinct. You won't find them. So innovative formats had been launched, but except for mini discs with no significant consumer impact, do you know anyone who owns a laser disc or a DAT player? Let's go ahead. So competition within the CD marketplace is largely between major entertainment corporations who record, manufacture and coordinate the distribution of products. The independent recording sector is also important as a source of new talent. The market is subject to extreme sales variation due to fluctuating reputations and hype surrounding individual artists or related phenomena. So think of the unpredictable ups and downs in the sale of bands like Oasis and of soundtracks like the Titanic, for instance. So it's a very unpredictable industry. Even one song in the CD can be reason for its high sales. So that all is a very unpredictable thing. There is also always a huge seasonal variation in volumes because of the Christmas gift-giving market. Looking more broadly, consumer spending on recorded music forms just a part of the wider leisure and entertainment sector. So, which typically also includes books, magazines, sports, games and hobby. But now the sales of CDs has also gone down within the last few years because now everything is available on the net. So people are downloading songs and they are listening to it. So no longer we go to the shops and buy CDs, isn't it? Like listening to CD is a type of leisure activity. So there are other means available, so people are more inclined towards that. So this means that the marketing carried out by record companies has to overcome some pretty big hurdles in order for a particular CD to enter the average consumer's consciousness. So a significant contribution to the marketing of CDs is made by distribution channels. The main intermediaries are the general high street chains like W.H. Smith and Woolworths, which sell other goods in addition to music-related products, and the specialist record chains like R. Price and H&B. The chief difference between the two types of chain is the range they stock. Woolworths may sell more units than any other chain, but it keeps a considerably less deep list of titles on display than H&B, who are aiming to attract the more knowledgeable and frequently higher and more regular spending. So music fan. H&B is a brand that is preferred by those who have a taste for music and who spend regularly on buying the goods, buying music stuff. So in addition to the chart-oriented buyer, more mature consumers tend to shop at outlets like Boots or W.H. Smith. These are some outlets of UK only. So sales in other non-traditional outlets such as petrol stations and grocery stores have been growing. Yeah, you find CDs over there also. Supermarkets in particular have moved strongly into the recorded music sector, with chains like Safeway and Sainsbury offering a top chart selection, sometimes at discounted prices. These services are offered in UK only. So some chains such as Asda also offers singles as well as a limited back catalogue range, but these are usually mid-price or budget compilations. The number of Asda stores with record departments grew from 0 in 1991 to 250 by 1996. These are all specialized music providers in UK. They are like chains of distribution that are used for the music industry. So over the same period, the number of UK independent record shops fell from nearly 2,000 to 1,500. Although record companies welcome the huge volume provided by supermarkets selling music, they fear a repeat of the retail revolution in the USA, which virtually wiped out the small indie record shop. I was talking to somebody recently. I went to a marriage, so there we were having a discussion. So that person is based in US. Okay, she has been living there for more than 20 years. So she was telling that now the people of US, they are really bugged up with the Western culture. Now the sale of Domino's, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, everything is going down in US. But now, if I talk about India, it is seeing a boom in India now. People are very, very much inclined towards these eatable stuff. But in US, the things are now changing. They are not preferring such things. We are. It was a discussion about where we are placed right now. So it was like India is 50 years behind US presently. US has seen that phase, and now these things are coming to an end over there. And in India, these things are now picking up. This fast food culture and everything. So that is the difference between the two nations. They have such a nice system. I don't know if it's there in Middle East also. Like, what are the traffic rules of your country? What is it like, traffic rules? Is it if somebody crosses the red light, what are the provisions? What is the culture there? Very strict, and everyone follows in the UAE. Okay, so what? 12 black points. So, and how much is the fine? And what is the method of fine deduction? Okay, impound vehicle, then huge fine. You pay it from your pocket. You pay in cash. Is it? Okay, so that is there in India also. Same thing. Okay, that's really nice. That's a good way. Driving license cancelled, you cannot step out. And India, what is the culture? You must be knowing that if you cross, you can just call the 2,000 pounds, 2,000 2,000, 30,000. It's too high. And in India, what is the culture? Once you are caught, you can just call the traffic policeman, who is called traffic havaldar. You can just call him aside and, sir, kitna dena hai? You can just ask them how much I have to pay, and then you can get away. And in US, the culture is that even if it's 2 in the night and you cannot, people do not even think about crossing a red light when even there is no one around, because the recording is done in the CCTV, and even before you reach your home, the money will be deducted from your bank account, and you will get a message on your phone that the amount has been deducted because of the traffic violation. Okay, same here, that's good. But in India, the things are not like that. It's really very difficult here. That's why driving is very difficult in India. Because people just jump from any side. They don't have any sense. Okay, that's really nice. So this is the reason why these countries have progressed so much. Like countries like Middle East, and especially then come the US and all. That is the reason. Things are automatic and disciplined, and that is what is lacking in the Indian culture. But let's hope the things will change now with the new government, maybe. Alright, let's just continue with this. Okay, so you can see the music industry believes that the long-term development of the new bands has been harmed because the shops that used to sell debut albums are in decline. There are no longer retail shops there in the market for selling the music CDs and cassettes. So, and for a debut band, no like established brand will like to take up. So that is a problem with the new band. So ASDA's category controller for entertainment says that record companies are in a difficult position because although publicly they feel that supermarket price promotions are devaluing music, privately they are happy to see any sector performing strongly. So however, music companies are finding supermarkets with their high expectations of marketing and merchandising support and low margins on CDs compared to groceries, much harder to deal with than specialist chains. In the supermarket, CDs are sold, but the share of profit for the supermarket is really less. So now again people prefer that they can get the CDs from the shops, because for the shop owner or for the specialist chain of specialist supplier of those, the profit margin is high. The grocery multiples normally buy their CDs through a wholesaler. It suits them to do so because of the hugely diverse nature of the titles available and the need for frequently changing ranges. The major wholesalers include Entertainment UK, which is a part of the Kingfisher Group, and Total Home Entertainment, that is THE, which is a part of John Menzies. The process for gaining supermarket distribution for a CD title is as follows. The major record companies present their titles to a wholesaler, which has an account with a grocery multiple. The wholesaler then recommends a selection to the retailer's buying team. They may also work on the planogram, that is the store shelf layout, and do the merchandising. So it's a multi-step process. Okay. The companies present their titles to the wholesaler. Then the wholesaler recommends a selection to the retailer. So that's, and then they can think about their planogram. The internet has offered new opportunities and challenges for the major labels and independent record companies to provide access to their products. So why is it so? Because music is, like research by Forrester Research suggested that the sites most commonly visited by 15 to 24 years old are music related. Yes. So music is well suited to online retailing with no need to sell the actual CD. So it is easier to listen to a taster online than in a shop. Websites can also add value by incorporating reviews, concert listings and discographies. So that is something that we have discussed. Because of the availability of music on internet, the sale has been continuously going down. So however, distribution through the internet did not get off to a very good start for the music companies. Internet-based companies such as Napster.com and Aimster.com tried to get around the copyright laws by allowing members to swap files with each other. This undoubtedly cost the music companies a lot of money, and they eventually succeeded through the courts in driving many of these sites out of business. But the music companies realized that new pirating sites could spring up at any time and the internet was very difficult to police. So should they continue to rely on the courts to drive the sites out of business, or should they try and join them? So companies were aware that the internet sites were driven by energetic entrepreneurs. Could the music companies harness these energies for their own benefits? Okay. So that is there. Now gradually the companies started licensing companies to provide MP3 format downloads using coding that prevents multiple copies subsequently being made. believing that they do not have the internet skills to set up their own distribution operations. So in May 2001, the music and the media giant Vivendi Universal acquired one of these sites, and just 6 months after mp3.com paid Vivendi this much as the compensation for intentionally violating its copyrights. So it's now getting a little technical. The question remains the same. With the availability of music on internet, people are very much hesitant in buying the CDs, and then even on the internet, pirated versions are available. So how are the companies going to fight that? So that is also one very big or giant question before them. Okay. So that is all there. So we can just wind up the class now. We are done with 3 case studies. This last one was a little boring. The other 2 were interesting, as I thought. So we can just wind up now, and we can see each other in the next class. Okay. Fahad? No, I'm not new. I'm there since last 5-6 months. I think you came in one of my classes previously. Yeah, you came. I know you. By name I know you. You were there in my class. Saturday classes, you were there, I think. Yeah, that may be the reason. Okay. So, all of you, thanks for your time, and see you in the next class. So, your next class with me as well as with your sir will be on Thursday. So, see you all in Thursday's class. Till then, bye, good night, take care of yourselves, enjoy your week, and have a sound sleep tonight. Alright, bye then, good night. Take care everybody.